Hello and welcome, my name is Meepolis, she, they, and this is Literally Graphic. And today we are looking at Prism Stalker, Volume 1 by Sloane, Leong, published by Image in 2019. This volume collects issues 1 to 5. Content warning for body horror, violence, and colonialism. As far as the nature of the violence goes, it does lean towards an action comic at times. The body horror was more graphic though, in my opinion. According to her website, Sloane Leong describes herself as, quote, a self-taught cartoonist, artist, and writer of Hawaiian, Chinese, Mexican, Native American, and European ancestry. She explores themes of survival, displacement, relationships, spirituality, identity, and mental illness through various genres and mediums. She has been self-publishing her own comics since she was 16 and has done various work for companies like Viz Media, New Republic, Image Comics, Cartoon Network, DC, Dark Horse, Boom, Namco, and BuzzFeed. She is currently living near Portland, Oregon, end quote. This comic also has a soundtrack by Neo Tonomi, which I'll link in the description. Her bio on the Prism Stalker website is as follows, quote, Neo Tonomi is a composer, toy maker, and human ambassador to the world curse. She has contributed noise and more to games such as Bellular Hexatosis, the Music Friend series with Those Who Love Alive, and Crypt Underworld. She is also half of the electronic pop duo Rook and Nomi. End quote. What kinds of keywords came to mind reading this book? Displacement, organic, alien, training camp, culture, survival, and family. The Goodreads description of this collection is, quote, far from the border of colonized space, a newly discovered planet teems violently with strange psychic life and puzzling telekinetic ecology. Vep, a refugee raised away from her devastated home planet as an indentured citizen in a foreign colony, is taken by a private military firm to assist in settling the new planet. What awaits her will test the limits of her will as she grapples with the strange power the planet exerts over her. While I'm certainly not the first to say it, this volume did seem to echo Octavia Butler's Xenogenesis series, as well as much of Nnedi Okorafor's work. In the interview in the back of the book, Leong also points to Cronenberg, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Vagabond, and Real, as well as her ancestral past and present, as points of inspiration for her development as a creator and this work specifically. More of a show rather than tell sort of book, some familiarity with the material that inspired Leong probably helped me into it much of the world building, but a willingness to just go with it and see how things fall together is always a strength when it comes to top-notch speculative fiction. The art in this volume is extremely expressive and creative, with lots of beautiful textures and colors. The alien designs were also very interesting and pushed well beyond the blue humanoid stereotype. The dichotomy of good versus evil was pretty nuanced in this collection. As I've mentioned a few times, colonialism and displacement are central themes to this volume. While colonialism is a fairly common theme in comics dealing with human-alien relations, in my experience, they generally fixate on Earth being invaded, either purposefully or, more commonly in my opinion, accidentally, echoing the experience of indigenous people of the so-called Americas by colonialist European powers. Leong goes a step further and centers Vep, a character who is a refugee whose culture is deliberately being dismantled by the species in power. Then, as the synopsis says, Vep is taken by a military firm that is bribing or blackmailing a diverse crowd of aliens, all in a similar situation of displacement, to colonize a new planet, whose inhabitants have been categorized as not intelligent enough to worry about, and create a new world for their people, which is the already colonialist system forcing more people to integrate into their worldview. Gender and sexuality do not feel like themes dealt with in so many words. That said, the treatment of the characters' bodies was really inspiring. For all the curves and jumpsuits, there's a total lack of what is called the male gaze. Plus, there was the way that when we meet Vep, her job is solidly in the reproductive labor side of things. The centering of a character who is indentured to a genocidal alien structure, class isn't labeled as such, but Leong does make her story about someone with many positive characteristics that has no power. This lack leads Vep to hard choices, so class is still a pretty strong theme in the speculative science fiction. As so many aspects of this comic are fairly subtle and abstract, I might have missed something, but I don't think ability versus disability was really expressed or explored, although the presence of seemingly only able-bodied people could turn out to be a deliberate statement about eugenics and or what is useful to colonialist capitalism? I don't know. I hope that Prism Stalker is still relatively short hiatus comes to an end now that Leong has published Map of the Sun. To conclude, for all the themes and intersections it does clearly focus on, Prism Stalker does go further than almost anything else I at least remember reading, although who knows, my memory is not the best. TLDR, 5 out of 5 stars. If you flip over to Sloane's YouTube channel, you can see some cool Prism Stalker animations. Bye y'all, keep reading and resist white supremacy. And as always, Literally Graphic is created on land that should be given back to the traditional landholders, which in this case is, to my knowledge, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, non-Anishinaabe people, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Huron-Wendat Nation.